So how good is the Sony PlayStation 5 in 2024? At this point, the PlayStation 5 is actually over 3 years old. And how does it look like in 2024? How does it look after a couple of years? And pretty much we kind of can say that we're closing in very fast on the mid-mark of a console generation, because usually they were about 7-8 years and we're kind of getting close to it. Just doesn't feel right, because I feel like we just got the PlayStation 5 and we're already closing in on the halfway mark of the console. So how do I feel about it right now, having it since launch and looking down the last 3 years and how it works today? I'm gonna say one thing before we begin, that 8K on the box. Do you really think anybody's gonna play in 8K? I know that's like they just wanted to have it on the box, but why did they put 8K on the box? Nobody games in 8K, and the games don't even support full 4K 60 frames per second or 120 frames per second in most games. So how do they think this is gonna actually be capable for 8K gaming, unless it's for like streaming? They could have not put that on the box. That's my opinion. So I have to start with the controller. Just wanted to mention the controller very quickly. First off, I feel like it is a different kind of a controller compared to other consoles and PS4 before it. It was really advertised as something that is a little bit more connecting for you, because there's so many different features that this has. And I have to say, the features really work. The touchpad, which we have on the PS4 too, but is a really nice touchpad. We have the speaker, which has been used mostly in exclusive games, but it does have a use case scenario. We also now have the microphone, so sometimes you don't have the headphones, and you can use this for your microphone, which is really cool. Vibrations are really good, but also the triggers have some kind of elements to them, which means they can have, for example, like for shooting games, you can feel the trigger being heavier, like a trigger on a gun. Or for example, in an action adventure game like Spider-Man, you can feel like the web swinging or other hits on that controller. You can feel the tension, or like the bowstring being pulled back, you can feel the tension on the triggers on the back, which is really cool, and I feel like it just adds to the immersion. But looking back at the 3 last years, I feel like it's something that is actually used more than I thought it's gonna be. I thought it's gonna be just in the exclusives and just sometimes, but it actually is used more than I thought it's gonna be used, and it's implemented better than I thought it's gonna be used, and even more games that are not exclusives. For example, in Call of Duty, you can have trigger effects on the triggers. And speaking of exclusives, we have games like the Spider-Man 2. Well, I'm a Marvel fan, so I 100% that game, and Evie did too. We just, had to 100% that game because we love the Spider-Man games and Marvel in general. But you also have amazing exclusives like the Horizon series, so the Horizon Zero Dawn, and especially for the PS5, Horizon Forbidden West, which is a gorgeous game on PS5. And also the God of War Ragnarok. When moving back in time, we also have the games like Ratchet and Clank, Rifts Apart, and Spider-Man Miles Morales. All of those games are amazing exclusives, really high quality games, and sometimes you might not like all of them, but I feel like plenty of them are gonna be good for a lot of people. Like for general public, someone will find one that they will like. But I just feel like the Sony exclusives in PS5 area are still very high quality. You can actually even play the exclusives from PS4 in upgraded versions like the Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, which is just perfect on the Sony PlayStation 5. You can actually play in 4K 60 frames per second. It just looks spectacular. And I feel like the launch titles, for example like the Spider-Man Miles Morales, having it right at launch was really nice to see how the quality is so much nicer. 4K 60 frames per second, even if it was dynamic, it felt so nice to have. With the particles of the snow, everything just felt so nice. Same thing can be said about like the Spider-Man 2, which really pushed the graphics and the gameplay even more. Just the whole experience is like a very masterpiece of a game design and gameplay wise. And also for games like the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 or Modern Warfare 2, and also Warzone for those that don't play the multiplayer, well, it's nice that we can actually play in 4K 120 frames per second. And yes, it might not be a stable 4K, it will be more like a dynamic resolution. It's still beautiful to have, on your console 4K 120 frames per second, which is pretty steady. really helps you game, and you know, it just feels like you can do so much better with that setting on. I personally play a lot of shooters, so for me, like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 or the Warzone, 120 frames per second helps me with shooting accuracy, and just, you know, the gameplay is just more comfortable. Also for shooting games, I know this is not a, you know, PlayStation specific thing, but I use a, this is not really a modded, it's more like a custom built controller for me. Yes, it does look like Spider-Man, especially the Spider-Man 2 with the Venom, and you know, like it kind of resembles the official PS5 controller, but I was first. I got this controller almost at launch, like literally like first couple of months of PS5. I just, you know, like the way I built it, and I just felt like those colors represent my gaming style. And yeah, somehow PS5 Spider-Man 2 controller looks very similar to mine. But why I wanted to mention it is it's an aim controller with the 4 back pedals on the back. So for shooting games, it's a very nice feature to have. Yes, there are grips on the back, but more importantly, I have the 4 pedals for better gameplay when playing. I can also change the thumbsticks. So if you're interested in customizing your own controller that is personalized for you, and you can really pick and match everything on it, well, check out the link down below. I'm gonna link down to aim controllers. I have mine since launch and I really loved it. I think they might even have lifetime warranty, which is perfect because when I had troubles with the controller, they fixed it to the point where I thought they pretty much made a new one. It literally looked like everything was new. Highly recommend you check out if you want to have like your own controller. And just so you know, this is not sponsored. This is just something that I use on a daily basis, and I think it's very cool if you have the money for it. And knowing that the PS5 Pro controller, I don't have it, it's a little bit pricey, especially here in Poland, and I just don't see the why I would want it. I feel like the Xbox controller with the 4 pedals might not be the better because of the analog sticks that I don't like, but I still feel like it's better because of the 4 pedals. And here I can have 4 pedals for Warzone and other shooters. So yeah, the 4K 120 frames per second looks amazing, especially playing on a TV like mine, which is the LG C3. If you want to know more about that TV, check out the video right here. It's a perfect combo for any gaming, especially semi-competitive or competitive shooting, because it can really nicely have that 4K 120 frames per second with as low input delay as possible. Just perfect combo for gaming. And also 3 years later, how does this design still hold up? I feel like it has kind of grown on me. It is a bigger console, and because it's mostly white and black, it really matches my gaming side and my desktop, because everything on my desk is pretty much white and black, so it matches perfectly to my setup. But it is on a bigger side, and it's a little bit less convenient if you want to move it around, which I do kind of a lot. So I have an extra carrying, like, you know, thing for it. But overall, it is a big boy. It's a chunky guy on the desk, but it is really good. And last but not least, I wanted to mention the PS5 has now different subscription. The PS Plus became PS Plus Essential, Extra, and Premium. It's kind of like an answer to Game Pass on Xbox, and I knew they're gonna do something like this because that was like the biggest point of Xbox over PS5 moving into this generation, and I felt like Xbox is gonna be better than PS5 in this generation, but I feel like not really. At this point, I can say I'm more confident in PS5 over Xbox Series X, even though Xbox is stronger and the Game Pass is still great, everything works fine. I just feel like they kind of cut up the Game Pass thanks to the PS Plus, Premium, and Extra, while also having the better exclusives. And thanks to this, I just feel like PlayStation 5 is just overall something I would consider more over the Xbox. Unless you really want the Forza Horizon games or like the Halo games, I just feel like it's more suited for someone like me. And you know, with the PS Plus Extra and Premium, you really have a big library right away of nice games, especially that you can play the PS5 version of the Miles Morales or Ghost of Tsushima. So it's very good games right away. Overall, I feel like PS5 in 2024, after 3 years, I kind of wish it did a little bit more. I kind of wish there was more games like Spider-Man 2, and having waited for it for a little bit, especially after playing the Miles Morales, which was nice to have between the 2 main series games, I feel like I am kind of losing the spark at this moment, because I feel like everything that we thought about, like the God of War 2, which was Ragnarok, where we had the Horizon Forbidden West, now the Spider-Man 2. What next? I really don't have anything to wait for, so I'm kind of like, you know, for now it has been pretty good, not bad, and a lot of good games. But what now? What is going to be the future of PS5? I know there are going to be good games. I know there's going to be like Spider-Man 3 or Horizon 3. I just hope they come soon enough. The quality from Sony PlayStation games exclusives are so good. But overall, the 3 years have come and gone so fast. I remember just getting it, and now we're getting closer to the midpoint, and yeah, I feel like it has so far been my favorite console from this current generation and really works great. So if you're still on the fence if you should get it, I think it's a very convenient and fast and easy way to set it up and start playing high quality games. Quality games because the exclusives are really the selling point in my opinion, because other games you can probably get on other platforms, but those are the best sellers for me for the console. And yeah, we have to end this video because I think I should be gaming by now. I think I should turn it on and, you know, do some real world testing, how good the new Warzone map is and everything, because I feel like I should be focused on that. So how about we end this video so I can get back to gaming? Thank you. And with that being said, that is gonna be it for today's video. Let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about the over 3 years with the PS5, or if you have any other questions, please let me know in the comment section down below. With that being said, that's gonna be the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video once again, and I'll see you next time.